Tron Tuesday to everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the latest LPTV Disney News Update for January 10th, 2023. Well, I almost said 2013 when they started construction. So again, my name is DB Woodley, co-owner of Laughing Place. The man with me is Kyle Burbank, our managing editor. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Very good, very good. We're very happy to be coming with you on this quiet Tuesday. We're going to do what we can to figure out something to talk about because there's just nothing going on in the world of Disney today. Of course, we're live, so if you want to be a part of things in the chat, let it. Go ahead.
Should I make the breaking news alert?
Oh my goodness, that's a throwback. So we do have some breaking news. Tron has an opening date. You probably know what it is, April 4th, 2023. We're going to get to all that in just a moment. We got to start the day. You know, none of this happens without the moolah. So Kyle, S&P down 0.44% today. Basically, it's even. It's not even down. It's
yeah, I'm like, I see a lot of green for it being in the red.
Sorry, I said 0.44. It was 0.044. So it's even. How's Disney doing?
It's up slightly.
It's the same.
Oh.
It's the same. The market is dead today. Too much wind. No one cares. All right. So the big news. Oh no, I'm sorry. Do you have a weather report ready?
Yeah, we want it. We can delay that if you want to get to the news.
Don't let me forget, because I will forget.
I won't let you forget.
Okay.
Let's get to all the domestic stuff, and then we will do the weather before we go international.
All right. So the major domestic news. You know what? It's not right to do this, Luis. I really apologize, everyone. I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be. So why don't you go ahead and give the big news while I get what I want to show the video.
Yeah. So yesterday they did a cryptic tease that we thought we deciphered. Apparently we did a pretty poor job unless I stumbled into something by accident. And then this morning they announced another little tease that seemed a little bit clearer, but now we have official confirmation of when Tron Light Cycle / Run will open at Magic Kingdom. And it's going to be on April 4th. That'll be the official opening day. They have said there'll be cast previews, DVC, AP, all those good things ahead of that. But this is what we got, this high score leaderboard here. And some of them are pretty easy to figure out. Like you see, the fifth one is MK, Magic Kingdom, opened on 10/1/1971. But some of the other ones were a little bit harder. The top one is actually, we came to discover, the real high score for the Tron game that I think it was set in like 2011 was when that particular score was set. One of these is the date that Tron
2011.
TL is Tron Legacy. That's the day that opened in 2010. One of them is wow, what's his name? Jeff Bridges' birthday. So we're looking at the number 2 and number 10 because CM cast member, and the date is 2023. The US one was interesting. We're like, okay, it could be 321. It could be you add the 1 to the 3, so then it's 421, and it was neither of those. So I don't quite know how this ended up translating to the April 4th date. I kind of wish that they'd tell us.
Yeah, because the 2023 is there,
is the point.
And you could add 3 and 1 to get April, but I don't know how you turn 212 into 4th. My suspicion is it was really supposed to be April 5th, and then at the last second they changed it. So I'm going to go with that.
I mean, yeah. It kind of makes sense. And we'll get to some other news that makes this date even more interesting, I think.
So the big news, of course, as Kyle said, Tron Light Cycle / Run, which has been under. When did they announce this? Which expo or destination?
I want to say, was it all the way back in 2017? So the one in Shanghai has been open since 2016.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if they announced it at the 2017 Expo and then actually got started on it later, but I don't know.
And so we finally have a date, 4/4/23, and there will be previews for various groups, whether it be annual pass holders, Disney Vacation Club, whatever. No specifics on those have been announced. Presumably there'll be cast member previews too. They typically don't announce those except to cast members. But yeah, it's here. So, you know, you've been on it in Shanghai. Mm-hmm. And we've just been waiting for a date for so long. This is an exciting moment, don't you think, Kyle?
It is. I mean, it's still going to be made fun of because of how long it's been, and the fact that we didn't get an opening date at D23 is funny, and the fact that now that we have one, and it's still like so not several months away, but still a few months away. I know people are going to mock it, but it's nice to finally have a firm date. I do hope that those previews start sooner rather than later.
Me too. As
I mean,
someone
they're
who will
already
be
letting,
there in late February.
high up, like humans are writing this. So I think maybe go back to the times when we had longer soft opening periods, because lately it feels like everything's been kind of last minute. Like the grand opening is the soft opening.
So I'm always curious what the zeitgeist is out there. So Walt Disney World tweeted this. I'm just reading some of the quote tweets here. Of course, people sad they're going to miss it. So many announcements at once. It's time to walk that duck. I'm not sure what that means. Well, there it is. Let's go. OMG. Okay. Someone tweeted Iger, send me in right now. Yeah, baby, finally. So I feel like this has taken 5,000 years. Finally, we get to ride it.
I did check. So the way that they did the post on Disney Parks blog was also a little interesting. It was written by Stephen Miller, and it's kind of like he's like reflecting on when he saw Tron Legacy and kind of just talking about his excitement for the attraction rather than announcing a bunch. So there's nothing about virtual queue, which I kind of expected that they would say that. But I guess they'll save that for later. For now, at least we have the date.
My favorite reply, this overused meme, but it's always hilarious. Get this up here, and of course,
it's been 84 years. I knew what it was before you put it.
All right, so Tron Light Cycle Run finally opening Walt Disney World. I am so excited for this ride. I can't, because when Pandora opened, I knew I wouldn't be able to ride. There was a great chance I wouldn't be able to ride Flight of Passage. I was excited for Cosmic Rewind, but ultimately, it's a different kind of coaster, but it's still a coaster. But I don't know, there's something about the way Tron is, which to you is called uncomfortable, but there's something about the way Tron is that just has me particularly excited about this ride.
So you've done Flight of Passage now?
I still have not done it, no.
Okay.
I can do it, but I haven't done it. It has a long line. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, well, you should go with friends.
I'm hoping. First, I got to make friends.
Did we not do it when we? Oh, I guess never mind. Those were the before times, before Doobie's transformation.
Yes, before I
refurbishment
went from beast to prince. All right, Kyle. The huge domestic news, I believe, was Tron Legacy. Are you ready now to do a weather update before we get on to
more domestic news?
What more? We have more domestic before Paris.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look at the document. So yes, let me do the weather report.
Let's do the weather right now.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna hold on. Let me just give you a heads up. I will show the weather map, and I actually have to take a quick step out. So you're going to do the weather. I'll be back before you're done.
Flying solo. And he's pausing. Okay, well, I will tell you that Anaheim today is in a pretty unique situation for Southern California. They actually have a small chance of severe storms. There's a wind advisory in Anaheim until 4 p.m. today and a flood watch until 10 p.m. But the thunderstorms will continue until about lunchtime, and then they should subside from there. Once they do, it'll be right around 60 degrees before tapering off into the 50s. Over in Orlando, surprisingly, not raining once again. Rain in California and not in Orlando. Sunny and 70, dipping into the 60s after sunset. Castaway Cay, there's a few clouds, but that will clear into the evening with temperatures solidly in the 70s. In Paris, which we'll be talking about in just a moment, it's drizzly for the rest of the evening and will dip into the high 40s after that. Tomorrow in Tokyo, they're looking at mid 40s to low 50s with sunshine in the morning and a few clouds in the afternoon. Shanghai is mostly sunny with highs in the lower 60s and lows in the sub 50s. And finally, in Hong Kong, there's a chance of showers in the afternoon with highs in the upper 60s. Sorry, it laughed. You coming back to me doing this. I don't know why.
Came back just in time. Whew, all right.
Yeah,
So
the headline there: wind advisories in Anaheim until 4, but storms should be passing by this afternoon, hopefully.
all right, we have some. I need to get you to add in there Northern California just so I know what my weather is going to be like.
Well, you're also, I think, are you?
We
Can
have
you
some
pull up the
terrible
map
weather.
again? Are you still in the 2% chance of tornadoes?
We are most definitely. It is so windy out there. It was a
Yeah, so
fun day.
that darker green area where it says marginal, I think that means there's a 5% chance of high winds over 60 miles per hour and a 2% chance of tornadoes even in California. Believe it or
Yeah,
not.
okay. I don't have a basement. We sleep with
I
our
don't know
windows
if anyone in California has a basement except for wine cellars.
We sleep with our window open like any sane human being, and we actually had to close it overnight. It was just so crazy out there. You're right. We do have more domestic news. Why don't we get to that first? You want to, again, take the lead, starting with Happily Ever After, perhaps?
Yeah, Happily Ever After. So you'll remember at the D23 Expo, they announced Happily Ever After was coming back, but they were a little ambiguous. They made it, tomorrow on stage, made it sound as if it was just the theme song that was coming back for a new show. But now it seems like it's just an updated version of Happily Ever After. There's going to be projections on Main Street, and that is coming back on April 3rd, the day before Tron opens. And because of this, it's your last chance to see Disney Enchantment, at least for a while. That'll close on after April 2nd. So yeah, that's coming back. And I know a lot of people are really excited about that. So then we have, so it was hard before this Tron news to figure out what the top story was, because I think Happily Ever After is the more interesting show returning, but we do have some big news out of Epcot as well. The smaller half of that is that Epcot Forever is coming back also on April 3rd, with Harmonious closing on April 2nd. But the more exciting thing is that Disney has confirmed that they will be removing the barges in stages. And so death to the barges at last. They will be gone, and there will be a new fireworks show coming later this year. We don't have a date for that yet, or a name for that matter. But yeah, barges. No more. Taco Tuesday, killing the tacos.
I find it humorous that they're announcing they're removing them in phases. I mean, I'm not going to presume that they're all going to disappear overnight. So some people would. They're going to like have winter for one of them and then hold off till spring till they get to the next one. I don't know. There's something about that interests me. But maybe you're right. Maybe if they just did one of them overnight, people were like, they decided to keep two of the barges. And people would go in. It's not like Disney fans are not insane. Oh, now I'm curious. Epcot barges. People tweeting specifically about that. Finally, the Epcot news we've been waiting for. Harmonious was, yeah, that was, I think it's fair to say Harmonious was a flop, right?
I don't know. I don't think they would have I feel like part of me wants to say that they always intended just to make it part of the 50th celebration, extended if it did really well. So I don't know if it's a flop per se.
Okay,
and like we've talked about before, I think the show itself is fine. I think it's just the barges that were the issue.
So maybe it's wrong to say the show is a flop, but perhaps thinking it would be good enough. The whole package, Harmonious plus barges, I don't think there was any way it could stay. I can't imagine they invested all that much, especially in those barges too, just for 1 year or 2 years, whatever it was. Even if they didn't plan to keep Harmonious, I would think they had planned to keep the barges and then become a relatively permanent part of future shows. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, and also fun that it's on April 3rd. I feel like they can never, ever, ever again do anything on April 2nd because people instantly go to Bus du Monde on April 2. Think I'm right about that?
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's officially Home on the Range Day for now and forevermore. Benji's waving at us. I guess.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, but I love this tweet you sent, so I'm going to show that too.
Yes, I think it's as convoluted, and I don't even know if that's true. But
I just want to share when we attended the opening of Harmonious, we did interviews, and I don't think we actually recorded it. I think it might have just been sort of in the pre, or post kind of chit chat. but they actually talked about how exciting it was that there was going to be that these barges can be used for different shows, kind of like World of Color. That infrastructure was used for different shows. So I think it's pretty safe to say, this was also at a time when they were still trying to figure out the fountain thing, turning them into fountains during the day, which just never panned out.
Why do you think that is?
I think they tested it and then they realized that's a really big fountain and makes a lot of noise and it's hard to maintain. So we saw them test it and like people were just getting drenched because the thing's so tall that it was just not. I don't say it wasn't well thought out because that seems cold, but I don't know.
No, mistakes happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that went into the calculus of it, right? Like, just they didn't have the way that they knew they had an issue. They tried to mask it. They couldn't end up masking it, and then it just sort of became an eyesore. But
yeah, I can. So as I said, it is safe to say it was not the intent to do all of this.
It's safe to say because they told us that
disappear within 2 years. But so I applaud them because it takes a lot to admit that soon. Hey, this just ain't working out. Let's just call this a sunk cost and move on.
Well, and I think that's the thing is if the barges were designed to be used even longer than the show, who knows how long Harmonious itself was going to last, but the infrastructure cost, if that was spread out over various years, that it didn't make. There's no way they budgeted for 18 months for this thing.
You think we'll see those barges move to the Fantasyland Theater now? Maybe they'll do a show on them.
It's just it's maybe it's gonna go to Paris and that big lake they're building.
Where this could fit is in the retirement community. I think I would bold prediction: those barges are going to end up in the Disney retirement community, whose name I can't remember.
That's a bold prediction. That won't happen. That is.
Okay. All right,
Harmonious barge, piece of magic, piece of history pin.
Since we've got Fanboy here, before we let him go, if he even wants to go, have you seen this as to how we should have interpreted this? Let me make it feel a little more.
Oh, no.
Well, this is from Scott Gustin, who's a guy in the know. So I don't know if this is his intuition or you've been tipped off on this. But so apparently we should have paid attention to the text in the tweet, need a clue, CLU. And then, Kyle, have you looked at this to see what he's actually saying? Because you're smarter than me.
Well, is there more? Where's the C?
The C's at the bottom, the CM one. But it doesn't really line up. Like it doesn't.
That's a reach to me.
But those were the ones that we were guessing cast member previews. But I guess if it kind of makes sense, but also kind of doesn't. It might be a stretch. I don't know what they were going for, but
I think it does kind of. It messes. It goes first 2 digits, second 2 digit, 4. I don't know where you get the 4 digits, but I buy it.
I don't buy the one that bothers me is the L because they're just taking the 04 and not the 9, and they could have put just 004 there.
Well, no, because then the 2 it lines up, right? If you went the 9, then you would only.
Okay, no, I see what you're saying. So if that's the case, then what does the US mean? Because you figured out what the 8 meant, but what does the 2 mean if it's not?
We didn't figure out what the 8 meant. We never did.
I thought Fanboy did.
Jeremiah sent us the thing that was based on the miles. I didn't dig into it. Maybe he could have been wrong, but it could also be more than one meaning, right? Now, I don't know that. I don't know, because when are the we don't know when the cast previews are. Then, right? We guess.
No. Yeah, that's true. We don't know what
But they wouldn't be we were guessing that it would be 4 through the 8th, but that's not going to make sense if it opened on the 4th.
The fact that they have not deciphered this for us has turned this from the best tweet of all time to the worst tweet of all time. Disney needs to fix
kind of
this.
like I was saying all along. They should have just given us real info instead of this
No. The way this took over Diz Twitter yesterday was pure genius. It was a good move. They just didn't finish it by giving us the cipher.
How do you hype a ride you've been hyping for 5 years?
This is how. This is what I'm saying. This is how. It was beautiful. And it got people all positive about it, instead of finally we're getting a day. You know how Disney fans can be. You gotta show them a squirrel and get their mind somewhere else. And it worked. See, there you go. Kyle's a Disney fan. Did you guys, anybody out there, did you guys like this tease that they gave with the scoreboard? To me, it just, as soon as I saw that number 1 was the all-time high score, I'm like, this is next level social media stuff. Whoever's doing this is too good to be working for corporate.
They didn't just recycle a TikTok meme this time?
No, exactly. They're not like 2 months late on a meme. They're actually coming up with original programming here, which is very uncorporate.
Oh,
right.
do you happen to have the TikTok of the Happily Ever After announcement? Because I thought that was kind of fun.
Okay, I will find that. If you was there any other Epcot thing?
Just barges. Barges go bye-bye. I think that's the headline. But yeah, Happily Ever After. I know a lot of people are excited about that one. And, you know, they put up a simple TikTok. I thought it was fun for some reason. I thought it was better than the stuff they usually do. There wasn't the weird AI lady voice. So that's always a plus. I didn't have to decipher something. So that's another plus.
I'm working it. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
What's wrong?
I don't know. You sounded disappointed. So I was just.
Oh, was it this one with the guy reading? Yeah. This is beautiful. You sent this to me this morning. I like this a lot. Share this tab instead. This is the one, right, Kyle?
Yes.
This is great.
Okay, make sure green screen shows image of Happily Ever After. I got that. Warning, do not mention that the return date of Happily Ever After is April 3rd. Okay.
It seems like something we would do.
Okay.
On this show.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. That's the conceit.
Key difference. All right, so Epcot. So Disney World it's getting set here. We've got Happily Ever After. We've got Epcot Forever, which I know is a temporary show. Maybe this is their forever. That's why it's Epcot Forever. This will forever be their temporary show in between other shows.
I wanted them to rename it Epcot Forever again.
And then we have Tron coming back. That's funny. Ever again. So hopefully we get some dates soon on Way of Water and all of that stuff, and Disney World can be done and imagination can finally take a nap. I'm curious. I can see you down there, fanboy. Do you agree with me? I'll bring you on for this, that they will never, ever, ever have anything again opening on April 2nd?
Because of Bustamoo April 2.
Yeah, just everyone will just be saying April 2, Bustamoo April 2, and that'll create
I think you're overestimating how many people outside of our office remember that marketing campaign.
Are you really? I thought that was as universal as Epcot will never be completed as long as there's
I think I think Home on the Range, the legacy, like I'm curious now that LPTV seems to be happening. I wonder what you're going to do on April 2nd this year.
But a Bustamoo, I don't know what that means, but I'm going to figure it out between now and then.
Giving you iconic lines like, who would ever eat a chicken? And yeah, they're real.
Yeah, the udders, Roseanne Barr's udders.
Whenever I think, Disney just shouldn't do X, you shouldn't hear the S word in an MCU movie or something. You got to remember that relatively classic Disney said, yeah, they're real, and just ease off a little bit. All right, thanks, family. Come back on anytime. Moving on to Disneyland Paris. It was quite a morning. Oh my goodness. So Kyle, you want to give, what do you want to start with? The new?
I want to start with Marvel, of course.
All right, let's show that before we talk about that. I've got it ready here. Audio and all.
Audio and all. Hope people make sure you can see the subtitles.
Nous avons une information exclusive
Can't see the subtitles.
dans la vidéo qui va suivre.
Isn't it English too?
Hi, I'm Ben Spalding and I'm the producer of this brand new show.
Je suis Arnaud Ferredge et je suis le metteur en scène de ce spectacle. Pour la première fois dans un parc Disney, nous allons proposer à nos visiteurs un spectacle basé sur l'univers de Marvel, alliant des drones et des effets pyrotechniques.
We have more than 30 people working on creating this unique show for Disneyland Paris, which is going to happen in the Walt Disney Studios. At the end of the day, you get to see the most amazing show ever.
On va découvrir nos personnages iconiques Marvel dans une version totalement inédite, parmi lesquels Doctor Strange, Hulk, Captain America, projetés directement sur la tour de la Terreur et qui vont émerveiller petits et grands à l'aide de drones et d'effets pyrotechniques.
As we like to accept challenges, we are going to make a bigger and better show up to 500 drones doing all sorts of images in the sky. It was a really big challenge for us to make a show that had never been done before. So we had to make it to work on the Tower of Terror. And we were placing our media on the tower and then adjusting where the pyrotechnics would shoot out from the side of the Tower of Terror. And then all of this is secrecy. We had to do this at nighttime when everybody was sleeping.
La musique a une place primordiale dans ce spectacle. D'ailleurs, on est allé jusqu'à Abbey Road pour l'enregistrer avec un orchestre symphonique de plus de 70 musiciens. Nos visiteurs entendront les thèmes principaux des univers Marvel dans des versions totalement réadaptées et inédites pour l'occasion.
Abbey Road. What more can I say about that? I really can't wait to see the look on the faces of all our guests who come to see this really exclusive show. It does not exist anywhere in the world. It's going to be amazing.
I feel like Paris is really trying to take on Tokyo Disney Sea as the best resort. They have some cool stuff going on. So Kyle, anything else you want to add about that?
I will say some of these effects, like the shield and the Doctor Strange portal, they did when Avengers Campus opened, they did like a special private event where they did some of these drones things. So it's really cool to see that being incorporated into a public show, unlike the Fantasyland Dragon. So I think this is going to be really awesome. And it's only supposed to run for a limited time, but we'll see if maybe it'll make reappearances after that. And yeah, this is
They're ever going to bury you for
grand finale is just some merchandise, but Disneyland Paris is closing out their 30th with an actual grand finale. So, just shows that the 30th was better than the 50th. Going on record.
This could be the best use of drones ever, doing the swirl.
It's so cool.
Swirl. That's amazing.
I know that's just concept art, but it'll look pretty good in person too, I'm sure.
So it starts January 28th, runs through May 8th, and over 500 drones and superheroes, including Captain America, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Shang-Chi, and more. Captain America, they do still call him that in Europe?
Yeah.
I'm sure if they had because the EU gets really with homegrown stuff. I wasn't sure if they had anything to issue with that. Cool. All right. And then also coming up in Paris.
They could call him like Captain Red, White, and Blue. It's the same thing as France. So
That's true.
Easily poured over.
Here, let's show this video this time.
Captain Bastille.
Introduction to the next Paris announcement, because one is not enough.
Bonjour à tous, ouvrez grand les yeux, aujourd'hui on a une grande surprise pour vous.
This one is subtitled
Hi,
in French.
I'm Ben Spalding. I'm a producer at Live Entertainment at Disneyland Paris.
Bonjour, je suis Mathieu Robin, je suis metteur en scène à Disneyland Paris et avec Ben, on a l'immense plaisir de faire revenir Disney Dreams.
We're so excited.
So this was a show that opened in 2012.
Disney Dreams, c'est avant tout un énorme spectacle sur le château de la Belle au Bois dormant.
Opened in 2012 what?
Et
they're bringing it back now.
La magie de la deuxième étoile.
Is it just a projection show or is it also fireworks?
I believe there's pyrotechnics. I think this 2012 would have been before it was just the projection show, Disney Spectacular.
The original show.
C'est un spectacle.
When the English guy speaks, it's subtitled in French.
Il a été révolutionnaire en son temps. Il a changé la manière de faire du spectacle dans tous les parcs Disney du monde.
I speak a little
We
French.
have 20 people working hand in hand to bring back this iconic show just for you.
Parlez-vous anglais?
Faire revenir Disney Dreams, c'est pas seulement faire revenir un spectacle que tout le monde a aimé, c'est aussi plonger ce spectacle dans les dernières technologies existantes.
One of the great and unique effects that we have in our castle, we installed the second star, which is this mechanical, wondrous, amazing lighting laser effect. It is unique. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the world, and it was made here next to Disneyland Paris.
Oh, I want to see that castle.
Because they need more cool
On a
stuff.
tous un attachement émotionnel très fort à ce spectacle, que l'on soit cast member de Disneyland Paris, visiteur, habitué ou non. On a tous des souvenirs de ce spectacle iconique et on a hâte de le repartager tous ensemble.
It has been a lifetime wish to bring back Disney Dreams since we produced it the first time, and to be able to bring it back to our guests, our cast members, and it is just amazing.
Et on vous donne rendez-vous à partir du 12 avril pour découvrir le grand retour de Disney+.
That means April 12th, which is the anniversary of the resort. It'll be its 31st anniversary.
Not only do they have all this cool stuff coming for the finale of their 30th, they even made a logo for it. That's really cool. So how good is Studios Park? I know this isn't at Studios, but how good is Studios Paris now?
I mean, Avengers steps it up a bunch, but not until that lake thing is done. I mean, it's still like a few minutes park. You could probably spend 2 hours there and be more than satisfied. So Paris was our last resort, and we purposely went to Studios first, so that Park Disneyland would be our last park. And yeah, we did not spend much time in there. That was before Avengers Campus. But what, Ben?
It's really hard to spend a full day at Studios Paris. Like, it's, you go in, you have the Turtle Talk show, basically, or what is it, Stitch, and then you have a theater that may or may not have something in it depending on when you're there, and then
might be a meet and greet. Yeah,
and then you have the Cars, sort of what used to be a backlot tour, which is now just basically a shuttle to Catastrophe Canyon, and then there's really not much there to the park. They have Tower Terror and Ratatouille, but it's just not enough to really call it a full day park. They're really gonna need to flesh it even more out, even with Avengers Campus. I mean, originally they announced that there was gonna be the Frozen and Galaxy's Edge Light Star Wars Land, but it seems like this Star Wars thing might be on hold. So, but they are still pursuing with the Frozen thing, which I think will make it a legit sort of decent sized park.
So it lacks for quantity, but it sounds like the quality they have is pretty high. Each of their attractions now. I mean now.
The new stuff, but they still have a lot of the remnants of the old stuff still, which is just kind of
Tower of Terror, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is new, but I'm saying Aladdin, or the courtyard outside of where he's saying where you had Cinemagique, which was one of the shining beacons of that park in its old days, and now it's gone, and then that theater is mostly lacking, except so before the pandemic they would do these sort of seasons. So there was the season of superheroes, so there was a Marvel show in there, but I don't know if that would be coming back.
That was really good. That Marvel show in that theater was spectacular. One of the best shows I've ever seen.
The past few times I've been there, either the theater was doing nothing or it was like a Minnie Mouse meet and greet.
Nothing.
So you have a theater for Minnie to stand on stage, and you're basically just using the theater as a cue.
My favorite thing, though, right? Well, I shouldn't say my favorite thing. One of the things that I get great joy out of is the current Disney Junior show. They meet Fancy Nancy, who, if you've seen Fancy Nancy, she always pretend she's kind of like Miss Piggy, just randomly inserts French. And so she does that but you're in Paris and you're like, does this really seem appropriate? She would go like, c'est magnifique. That is fancy for fantastic. And you're like, you're in France at a Disney Junior show. I think they know French.
Well, that's I always thought it was funny in Tokyo Disney Sea, they have Big Band Beat, and you're like, oh, celebrating America in the 1940s. That's a choice.
That's a Twitch thing. Okay. Well, never mind. No one's seeing it.
Yes, don't worry. I was trying to block it too. And I was like, why won't it let me? Oh, it's a little purple logo.
And as if Paris is not getting enough, one other announcement this morning. We talked about this with Edith yesterday, our Paris correspondent. It's a Small World is going to be reopening in spring 2023. It's had an extensive refurbishment. All they mentioned was that refurbishment work contributed to reviving the highly colorful appearance of its outdoor facade and allowed for several technical upgrades. Now, yesterday, Edith mentioned the hope that they would be adding in some of the new stuff they have in California, like the Disney characters and the characters in wheelchairs.
Well, I think the wheelchair thing they definitely announced when they announced the Disneyland one. I assume that they'd add the Disney characters too, but I really like Paris's version, so we've missed it the past few times we've been there. So I'm very excited for this to finally return. It's been sad walking by that area of the park, all walled off.
And this facade, the facade of it is much more like Disneyland's, right? Not Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's a real a real facade, if that makes any sense. It's not crammed under a tent. It's a big thing. You can see it uses like a lot of pastels and more colors than Disneyland's. But yeah, and it's also I don't know. I like it a lot. Although I feel like every time I've gone on a new Small World, I say it's my favorite. So it's probably just just.
What do you do, We should do Shanghai with all the projections and no, wait, that was Paris. What about one thing I don't know about Paris? Do they have the trough, or does the water extend all the way out? Like,
I was trying to think about that, and that's why I stopped talking because I couldn't quite remember. I'm pretty sure it's Disneyland style.
Okay.
I don't think it's a full water thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just thought of that, and I can't believe I don't know that. It's like the difference between the two coasts. All right. In non-theme park news, if we can actually move on to that, there was more big news the past 24 hours, and that's the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. Let's watch it together.
Appropriate, the Ant-Man trailer.
You're interesting
because
man.
TCU's
Scott Lang.
lore is pretty tiny.
You're an Avenger. You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time. Like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
I can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need. Or everything you call a life will end.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. I'm sorry, Cassie.
All right, Kyle, I know Marvel's your thing. I am the neophyte, so let me ask you a few questions before you. Was that MODOK?
That was indeed MODOK. Yeah, this is the MCU debut of MODOK. We don't know too much about him in this capacity, but yeah, that was him. Good job.
Okay, and then the big bad in that one, that was Kang?
That is Kang, and you'll notice that the verbiage says, intro to whatever, a new dynasty, and then the penultimate, the next Avenger movie is the Kang Dynasty.
Okay, so all right. So tell us what you thought of the trailer. Anything I didn't ask. Talk about Quantumania.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, the MODOK was my biggest takeaway. Kang, who knows what's going to happen here? It seems pretty dark.
Does it? Yeah, it seems pretty dark. Which is not Ant-Man. Ant-Man is the of the MCU.
That'll be fun. There'll be some fun in it, but there's got to be stakes.
I don't have to win as long as we both lose. That doesn't sound very Baskin Robbins retelling. Is the retelling guy? I can't remember his name, but the guy who tells the stories, is he in this? Do we know?
No.
No. That's a disappointment.
That we know of. I will say one thing I think is interesting is I kind of presume that at the end of Phase 3, at the end of the Infinity Saga, that we'd stop really talking about the snap and what happened there, but that's done nothing but have reverberations in Phase 4 and beyond. So we saw it with in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they're talking about that's kind of like the entire the reemergence of all these people is kind of what sparked the group in that one. And then you have now this where it's about time, and he wants to get that time back with his daughter that he lost during the snap. So I think it's interesting that is still carrying over, when I kind of figured we'd just be done with it.
And I love that they do that, because, I mean, if something like that happened in the world, that would be a huge deal. It wouldn't just be forgotten in a couple of years. It would reverberate forever. And the fact that they didn't just let that drop. Way to go, Kevin Feige. This is MODOK here?
Yeah.
That's cool. He was on a cartoon or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's a Hulu show with Patton Oswalt, which Patton Oswalt voices a different character in the MCU, as you may have seen if you didn't fall asleep in Eternals.
Wasn't Patton Oswalt in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, he was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is MCU adjacent, doesn't totally count. It's in the Lobaverse.
It's not MCU canon? I thought it happened.
Maybe at one time. It's it was canon, just like the Star Wars, like the Thrawn books, and then
well, that's I mean, as I said before, I'm not excited about this movie anymore. I normally am very excited for an Ant-Man movie because it's the more grounded ones, but we'll see. I mean, if they make this go big, fine. They that's how they want to go to the MCU, but I hope they then choose some future one to be a little more low-key, grounded, light, because you can't save the galaxy 3 times a year. There's a limit. You need something a little less sometimes, in my humble opinion. Not so humble. All right. If you want to really go in depth on that, Fanboy and Marvel Mac did 30 minutes on the new trailer yesterday, right as it dropped during I want to call it a championship game, but it really was more of a rout. Cruelty, pure torture for poor TCU. But when that dropped, the 2 kids went live on LPTV and they talked about it for a half hour. You can find that on our YouTube channel. In Shanghai, another place Kyle has been that I would love to go someday. They had a cool Instagram come out. Let's watch. It announces something, so you want to see this. The Avengers deployment vehicle.
Can I point something out?
Yes.
On that license plate, it says 616 Shanghai, which not only is the Marvel 616, that's the Earth in the comics and arguably the MCU, but it's also Shanghai's opening date. So it works in 2 ways.
That's very cool. And I'm going to make some joke related to that whole Tron thing, but it just wasn't coming together in my head.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that they just did an Instagram because there is a vehicle coming to Shanghai. That is exactly what social media is for. They didn't put it on a Titanic boat. They just, that was cool.
Yeah, it's very much like the one that was made for Paris and their Adventures campus. So now they have one in Shanghai as well, where Marvel movies haven't been opening. So that's fun.
Oh, that is really funny, but let's see, am I invited to the... Oh, sure, Jeremiah. Sorry, I missed your link, Jeremiah. Yeah, let's get you on here, too, if we can. I rebooted my machine and forgot to restart Slack. My mistake. Biggie, I'm coming in. Okay, this is what happens when I don't restart Slack. Everything just happens without me knowing. Let's see, there was some news yesterday. We talked about it on Disney Parks Talk Live, so we'll just briefly go over it here. La Brea Bakery did close yesterday. The company has closed all its cafes. So this is at downtown Disney.
Not all of its cafes.
I thought they closed all their cafes.
Maybe cafe. There's other locations. I think it's just a little confusing to know the difference between a cafe and a location. They're closing the one in Los Angeles and they're closing the one at downtown Disney. It sounds like they still have a few at like airports and things like that.
Yes, absolutely. 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 But the two, well, just make it simple. They closed the one in Los Angeles and they closed the one at Downtown Disney. Los Angeles been over 30 years. Downtown Disney been there basically 22 years. Downtown Disney, the one right as you get off the tram, you look at it, everybody sees it, even more visible than World of Disney. Been there many times coming out of DCA. So gone forever. Just weird to have something, such an iconic part of Downtown Disney gone forever. I need to go back and look what's left from opening day Downtown Disney. Maybe Figgy, if you're there, you can help us out. Yeah. What is left from like January 12th, 2001?
I just want to know, did La Brea Bakery last long enough for the vines to grow up in Uva Bar?
No, the bare metal there is still left.
What is there still left from opening? I mean, World of Disney.
Something
Was
silver is
Naples
long
there?
gone, right? Naples is left. Naples
is left, but
Jazz Kitchen.
Well, eventually.
Changed, but still there. Still there.
Catal. But it's going away. I mean, eminently.
Uva Bar too?
Yeah.
Uva Bar. None of the shops are left, right? There's not, other than World of Disney, there's not a single shop that's still there.
I can't think of any that are still there. I mean, I'm just walking through it. Quicksilver wasn't there originally.
Liquid Motion is long gone.
Marceline Confectionery.
So the Disney-owned stuff.
Yeah.
The vendors, they're gone. Rainforest Cafe, ESPN, AMC. Along the right side, what was there? Haagen-Dazs, is that still there?
Haagen-Dazs is still there. Wetzel's Pretzels is still there.
Okay, so again, food has survived pretty well.
Yeah.
But not a single shop. I mean, 22 years is a long time for a shop, but it sounds like not a single
Sephora
shop.
open?
Sephora's opening day. It's still there?
No, was Sephora opening day?
Yeah.
I thought it was like opening year, but you know what? They got smaller. They redid it very quickly, remember?
Yes.
Right.
But Sephora is okay, so good, Kyle. So I mean 22 years. Actually, now that you think about 22 years and how much is still there, that is not bad at all, in my opinion. I feel like
it's not there anymore. I mean, Downtown Disney just opened.
Because they get a lot of foot traffic, I gotta believe. House of Blues gone, right?
House of Blues, yeah, Splitsville.
Now it's Splitsville.
Lego?
Yes, absolutely. Lego is opening day. Yep. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Lego of that.
Ocean Charters, long gone. I don't know. I feel like this is. I feel like I know Downtown Disney better than any place else. You could photograph it really well while it was under construction from the hotel. Not that big. My little mind can handle it. That's my wheelhouse. Downtown Disney.
But yeah, La Brea closed. Going back to the story at hand, La Brea closed. So here's the thing: it closed unexpectedly to us, but it seemed like Disney had lots of plans for this space, which makes it all a little weird to me. But so Earl of Sandwich is coming back. It's going to have regular sandwiches, and also they mention a Earl of Sandwich tavern that'll be part of it temporarily. But then ultimately the footprint, which makes it sound like it'll be either completely raised or just expanded and redone, that will eventually be Porto's in the future, which was
Porto's Bakery and Cafe, right?
Yeah, the location or that business was announced at D23. Everyone got some Porto's treats if you went to the parks panel. And that will be ultimately what lives there. But in the meantime, we'll have Earl of Sandwich until I think Earl of Sandwich is supposed to have a new location once they finish all the stuff over there. So yeah, it just keeps coming back.
Which it needs to come back because people love their Earl of Sandwich. I called Earl of Sandwich like the Jeremiah restaurants. It just tries to find an empty space to sleep for a while until he gets kicked out, and then he goes on to someplace else.
But that's coming in. The temporary Earl of Sandwich is coming like February, right?
Yes, absolutely. February is when the temporary opens.
Yeah, so obviously these actions were in motion for a lot longer. So it's.
Do you think so? You think it takes Disney more than a day to figure out
to line up tenants and have new concepts like Earl of Sandwich, and to know that they're going to knock down that building or whatever they're going to do and put another business there? I think it takes them more than a day.
I see what you're saying. You're not wrong, but weighing that against keeping a secret.
Keep it a secret from all the employees that worked at La Brea and apparently didn't know and were, according to the memo released internally, were greeted by people telling them the news when they arrived that day.
Yeah, it's hard to keep secrets when you're dealing with Disney and fans and employees and all of that. So apparently they did, though, because like you said, they had these concepts, this press release pretty much ready to go with some new concepts and stuff. So somebody knew that that location was about to be available. It's Compass Books. Is Compass Books still there?
No,
Compass
that was
Books
Roll
is still
Sandwich.
I miss the theater. I wish they'd find a way to bring a movie theater back. I do miss that. Can you imagine if downtown Disney had an In-N-Out? No, I can't actually. That would be a mess.
I think the busiest In-N-Out in the world is the one near LAX, because I feel like everyone's heard that they need to get In-N-Out when they come to California. So that's just where they go as planes are like flying over the parking lot.
We have one around the corner from us, and I know what it's like, and it's just some random In-N-Out in San Ramon, and you go there at night, the line is always just back to the freeway. So
when I lived in Hollywood, I would have to make sure that I took one street over the other, because if I went too far south on like Sunset, I couldn't get to my apartment sometimes because the road would be backed up on Orange.
Chick-fil-A, where my gym and Chick-fil-A share the same parking lot, and that's also quite a mess. Fanboy, you had mentioned something about Josh tomorrow, and I can't see where you sent it to me. Can you just come on real quick and mention it?
He's going to be at South by Southwest.
Yeah, he's going to be at South by Southwest.
If he can get a flight.
He's not flying Southwest.
Really good. It's the official airline.
Which is funny because I don't know if you remember, right before COVID, Bob Chapek was supposed to speak at South by Southwest, but South by got canceled. I'm just trying to find the thing here, because it says it's kind of buried in this thing, but this presentation is called "Creating Happiness: The Art and Science of Disney Park Storytelling," and it's going to talk about how they're using art and science to create happiness through new memorable experiences. So if you happen to be in Austin, you might want to go check it out, because it sounds like one of those it's somewhat like a D23 kind of thing, except you're not, easier to get into because it's in Austin and not, a Disney fan event. And we'll have full coverage of it on laughingplace.com.
As always. Thank you. So it's approaching the hour mark where we are going to actually have a guest-filled next hour, something we love to do here. We're going to have Becca from Barely Necessities come on in just a few minutes to talk about some of the merchandise things, including Pin Tuesday over at Shop Disney. We're going to have Mike Celestino, Star Wars Mike, come on to talk about stuff going on with Hasbro. And then we're going to have Heather from Adventures by Disney, our favorite travel agent, to come on to talk about. We're going to have Heather of Mouse Fan Travel. Get out of here. I know how to correct myself. Heather of Mouse Fan Travel coming on to talk about some stuff regarding Adventures by Disney, as well as anything else in the world of deals and Disney travel and that kind of stuff. So that's coming up soon. Just a quick reset with our top story. Kyle, tell the folks the good news about Tron again.
Yeah, Tron is officially opening April 4th at Magic Kingdom. Ahead of that, there will be previews for APs, DVC, cast members. We don't know exactly when those will be yet, but we know that the official ride will open April 4th. We don't have any information about any virtual queue, boarding groups, all of that nonsense yet. This is what we know, and it's better than what we knew yesterday.
It's infinitely better than what we knew yesterday, because all our speculation yesterday was wrong. So,
except for me knowing that the UK area code was plus 44.
That you're always right about, because you're our world traveler. But April 4th, Magic. I can't believe it's here. What a early part of the year it's going to be, between that and all the Epcot stuff and the Magic Kingdom and Toontown and Disney 100 and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Our cup runneth over. I feel like we don't deserve all this good stuff that Bob Iger has brought to us. Imagine what this early part of the year would have been like if Bob Chapek was still around. We'd just be sitting around crying that we've got nothing. Got cold.
Oh, you don't like the harmonious barges? Well, we're adding 10 more.
Exactly. But no, our savior, Bob Iger, has come in and taken care of us like a good papa.
I'm gonna have to introduce a new banner.
Okay. That's probably a good thing.
If I can't spell alert properly when I'm rushing.
Definitely brought up a good thing with the April 2nd Disney Channel, Disney LPTV. What are we going to do for April 1st? Nothing.
I don't know.
We're going to do nothing. I'm not going to do some big.
I think we're just going to show a 24-hour stream of your stuff.
24 hours of a doobie story.
Get out of here. All right. Sorry. We are about to bring on our guest.
DBS.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 10 o'clock nearly. Is our guest ready? Give me a thumbs up in the green room. It is time to bring on one of the two best Beccas on the LP staff, 1 and 1A. I'm not going to say even who's who. The one and only Becca Burbank. How you doing, Becca?
Hi, guys. I'm good. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. So it is Tuesday, and that means you get to come on here and talk about Disney 100 character pins on Pintastic Tuesday. So let's do it.
All right. Yeah, we have a new collection of individual character pins available on Shop Disney as of today. And I really like these. You've got they have it in quotations, platinum. It's platinum type finish. So these are not, expensive pins or anything. And then the colorful enamel. They have 8 characters. We've got Marvel, Star Wars, classic Mickey and Minnie, and Pixar and princesses covered. So this is pretty fun.
Which one of these do you like the most?
Well, I love blue is my favorite color, and that Stitch is just perfect. So I think of this assortment, I would have to say Stitch, probably followed by Minnie. So as you can see in the photo.
So real quick, what are Pintastic Tuesday? For the new people, what exactly is that?
This is a new weekly series that Shop Disney is doing where they will be offering new pin releases starting at 7 a.m. Pacific. And it's going to cover a whole range of franchises. Some of will be Disney or D23 exclusives. Some will be park style pins. And yeah, this will be where you can get pins on Shop Disney.
Who's this?
That's Moana.
Is it?
At least I think so.
Yeah, definitely Moana.
This platinum thing.
So this one I put it. I mean because there was I think 11 or 12 pins overall. So the article contains everything, but the emphasis today is on the Disney 100 characters.
Okay.
But yeah, that Bruno one's pretty fun. Vicky's like, hey, he's doing one thumb. He's like, what's got one thumb? And, it all started with a mouse. That's me, something like that.
Red shorts with one button. Yes, me. The color accent and what they choose the accent's really, really cute.
Yeah, I think so too. Doobie, are you a pin collector?
I'm one of those guys that says, no, I don't collect pins. And then you go look and realize I probably have a few hundred of them.
Just like your wife says she doesn't like Stitch. And then she's like, but here's 20 binders full of Stitch pins. And here's 3 boxes of Stitch plushes.
I have not purchased a pin in many a year, but the backlog is high. It is large. This is cute. Oh, yeah. The blue. Yeah. Okay. But no, I won't be buying any of these. I'm waiting for that Titanic pin. I might have to get that one if Jeremiah can get it first. But
oh, that's pretty fun.
And so these are all available on Shop Disney.
Yes.
Prices are typical pin prices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should they go directly to Shop Disney and buy this, or might it help us if they go through our website?
That's a really good point. If you're reading a story on Laughing Place and it has a link to Shop Disney, and you click through that link, then we actually get a small commission. It doesn't affect your pricing at all, but it truly helps us so we can continue to bring you great content like LPTV.
Thanks, Becca. I plug you. You plug me. This is great. Have you seen I don't think we've got it up on LP yet, but the Celebrate 100 Magical Years with Mickey and Minnie press release thing that Fanboy sent around?
The one that was just like random things from Mickey and Minnie. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, or is this something new?
No, this is something from today. Why don't we bring on Fanboy to help us out here?
Hi.
The email that you sent me?
Yeah, I'll send you. I'm gonna give you a link to the story we just posted.
Oh, we did just post it. Okay. If we
so
post it, I can find it.
They are kicking off the Disney 100 celebration with a volume 1 of Mickey and Minnie 10 classic shorts. So probably if you have the treasures collection, you're not going to get anything new here. But it's a fun way that the home video folks are supporting it. This is first in a series of Disney 100 anniversaries. It'll be available on Blu-ray and DVD on February 7th. So the 5 that we know that are in there are Steamboat Willie, Brave Little Tailor, Mickey's Delayed Date, Hawaiian Holiday, and On Ice. So it's a pretty good collection there. There's 5 more, which we don't know what they are.
Ooh. Are they all 5 the same? Those other 5, are they the same on every set? Or is it like you have to shake it and try to figure out which one you're going to get?
No, I think they're the same.
Like blind buy DVDs, I think that'd be pretty fun.
But so yeah, it's kind of neat that even home video is embracing Disney 100, despite the fact everyone said that they're dying. Although it's funny because with all these streaming services pulling content now to save money, suddenly the appeal of having physical media again, especially if you want to make sure you have it for all time, is
It's not the most genius move in the world. Tell everyone you can get everything for streaming, get them to subscribe, then start pulling stuff so they have to go buy physical media again just to make sure.
Right. I hope no one sold their DVDs and you're like, oh, it's all on Disney Plus. And then I mean, now Disney Plus hasn't done it really yet, but HBO Max just pulled all the Looney Tunes, and you're like, okay,
that's huge.
I mean, and what's the residuals on Bugs Bunny at this point?
My dad has, I think, a majority of the DVDs, the Looney Tunes DVDs. We grew up watching those. We grew up watching Three Stooges, Marx Brothers.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
You know what Bugs Bunny said when he heard the news? What up, Doc?
Right, I'm not doing nothing here. If you guys can just fill a little time, I want to ask Becca about something else, but I'm
Oh boy.
I want to ask Becca about her shirt that I'm sure she'll talk about tonight.
Oh, possibly. Very, very possibly. I am wearing a Roosevelt's Borland Flex flannel, and this one is themed to Loki. I'm sitting down, so I'm not in a great position to show you, but there's a little Loki image on the left hip, and then the collar flips up and has some cool design. But this is really, really comfortable. We bought this one, and then we also bought the Scarlet Witch. So let's see. Can you see a little?
It's called Borland and
Al Borland.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's anything fancy with the Kunu Flex for their t-shirts, but this has a nice two-way stretch, and actually washed it yesterday. Super, super easy, very simple wash dry.
What's the thickness of it
It's not very heavy. I wouldn't say it's very heavy. It's, I don't know. It's a fall through winter shirt for sure.
Got it. Okay. Thanks. I was debating. I like them, but I don't want to wear a sweatshirt, because it's not quite right. But if it's just sort of a nice warm shirt, then maybe I'll.
Yeah, I think it's great for it's something you can layer. You can either wear a t-shirt underneath and wear this over, or you could put a vest or something on top of this. So yeah.
I've been watching Fashion Fridays here on Laughing Place TV. I know you didn't miss a
on
thing,
a Tuesday.
Very, very quiet day here. You didn't miss a thing.
Fashion Friday, but still on a Tuesday.
So this is what I wanted to ask you about, Becca. You're a fan of the Munchlings, right?
Oh yeah, because I haven't purchased anything. This is their garden goodness wave, and my favorite is right there in the second row in the middle, which is Donald Duck, and he's elote corn. So we got corn on a stick, and I think it's so cute. We've also got. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say we've got a Mike Wazowski avocado breakfast bagel. We've got a Winnie the Pooh stuffed pepper. Bambi is a lettuce wrap. Mickey is a loaded baked potato. And then Thumper spiced carrot cake. So
if they sold a medium of the elote corn that I could know what I was getting, I'd buy it. Or maybe if we went to the parks and I could, squeeze them to try to figure out which it was, then I get it. But
well, I don't think you can squeeze it because these blind bags come in boxes. So it's a blind box. Yeah. So it looks like a pastry or a takeout container. So you have less of a chance of being able to figure out.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring my X-ray specs from the back of Mad Magazine, and then I'm going to figure out which one.
I was trying to find that the cooking video that I think I shared with you, or maybe you shared it with me.
Oh, you shared it with me, and neither of us enjoyed it.
And I can't find it.
I will find it.
Okay.
I feel like this means it's something I would love, and both of you are like,
I want to see what you think of this desperately, and unfortunately, I'm just not very good. This was oh, I got it. Thanks, Kyle. I'm good. So, Becca, your opinion of this.
I can see the name because I opened it in a tab, and I'm like,
Disney Munchlings, bacon, sour cream, potato, mix, loaded baked potato Mickey Mouse, chocolate, strawberry, dip, chocolate drizzle strawberry piglet, egg, avocado, bagel, mix, avocado breakfast bagel Mike. Simple recipe for Big Mike.
no, I don't like it.
And
I'm with you guys on this one. I don't like it.
That is actually from at Disney Parks, and there is nothing on here that says, please do not actually cook and eat your munchling. So I feel like someone's going to get hurt here, and some poor social media director's in trouble. That's gross. They're not actually food. Becca, what's coming up in a few hours on Barely Necessities?
Oh, on Barely Necessities. Well, I'm still putting together the list, but we're going to actually talk more of about the House of Siage. I think I've got a perfume to unbox for everybody. So we'll be looking at that. We're going to cover more of the Disney 100. There was some stuff on Amazon. We've got a new wave of Marvel Legends figures that just went on sale. So there's some good stuff coming up today.
Yay! Cool. I'm looking forward to that. I watch that every week. There's only like 4 shows I watch every week. Disney Trivia, both Disney Trivia Live, Disney Parks Talk Live, and Barely Necessities. So.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate you joining us.
This isn't every week. This is. Shut up, Kyle. Shut up.
Okay.
That's how I feel a lot of the times, Doobie. Seriously.
It's got to be irritating to live with the times, right? With his literalism and the way
this is a show.
It goes both ways, though. It definitely goes both ways.
You're nice. My wife would just say, "Yeah, you're right. He's very irritating to live with." Thank you, Becca. We'll see you in a few hours on Barely Necessities, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's weird to hear you say tonight's show because to me, this the afternoon show. I never think of it as a night show, but you're in a different time zone. Okay, we're going to have Mike Celestino coming on pretty soon here, if perhaps Fanboy could help out and share the link with him. But in the meantime, thank you. I saw this on TikTok this morning. You may remember last week we showed you a video of one of the Galactic Star Cruiser cast members, Sammy, and his goodbye message as he was leaving the Star Cruiser. Sorry, get rid of. There's no Becca here anymore. We're going to do that again, but this time a different cast member has left the Star Cruiser. Let's see what he has to say. Maybe some salacious inside stories.
Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. For those of you who don't know, I was lucky enough to be part of the workshop and the opening cast of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. I helped create and develop the role of Sandro Alamander, the singer-songwriter who falls in love on his first journey aboard the Halcyon. He's a big Gaia fan, and he makes a lot of new friends along the way. During my time, I've written hundreds of improvised songs, made incredible friends, laughed real laughter, and shared real tears with every single person there. I've also received really cool fan art, just like this one here. This is definitely one of the most difficult projects I've ever been a part of, but also one of the most rewarding and fulfilling jobs that I've ever had. Being that something like this has never been done before in the history of the world, where performers are in an immersive experience with the guests at all times of day, carrying out a story, remembering names and songs over the course of 2 days to make one big, beautiful show, it definitely takes its toll, emotionally and physically. But it also taught me new skills that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. What truly makes the Star Cruiser experience special is the guests aboard the ship. Every single day, I met people that were so incredible and reminded me how wonderful people truly are, how creative, how thoughtful, caring, supportive, people that will help you pursue your dreams and celebrate with you when they come true. To everyone aboard the Halcyon that encountered Sandro, you have my deepest thanks and gratitude for your friendship, for your support, for your belief and your encouragement and your kind words. You have all been so generous and thoughtful and made my time there unforgettable. What Sandro represents to me is pure excitement. No matter what's going on, to just enjoy the moment and be present in it, to write a song with a stranger, or to make a new friend. Sandro gave people the permission to party.
TikToks were short.
They usually are. This one was particularly long, so we'll cut it there. He's got most of it is just most of the rest is just him clips from his performances and pictures from his.
I will say it's interesting. So this is actually one of the last time I said that I didn't have that performer when I was on the ship. This one I did, but I noticed that he has like a few different looks, and the one when I was there was the one, whatever those are called. Michael, come on and tell me in a second, but like this Ahsoka Tano looking things almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's bring Mike on. Mike Celestino.
Yeah, but he's going to get in trouble if I say anymore, so I'll let him correct me.
Good timing to have Mike now, right after that video. He's here to talk about some other stuff, but we'll obviously talk about this with him too. How you doing, Star Wars Mike Celestino?
So on Togruta, they're called Montrals. On Twi'leks, they're called Leku. This is something that I had to kind of drill into my own head, so don't blame yourself, Kyle. Don't lose.
Is that how those work? They drill into your head?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
very uncomfortable is probably why he left.
Did this when totally just forgot his name. When you were your friend was on the ship, was the character look like that, or was it a different person entirely?
It was a different cast member.
Okay.
And I believe he was in the Mirielin. So Sandro can either be a Togruta or a Mirielin, which is when he has like the
okay.
Yeah, the tattoo on his.
That's the version that I saw when I was there.
Yep, it was not him. No.
Okay, so a lot of the well-known cast members, 2, maybe 3, have posted on TikTok that they're leaving, and nothing negative. They just, although this one did start off with saying he is unexpectedly leaving.
I made the decision my decision to leave was unexpected, I think is what he said. And I'm like, I don't quite know how that works. But it's interesting. And also I want to say that they're not with you all times of the day. Like the second day, they don't show up till like 4.
Technically.
I'll be right back.
All right. Mike, what are you really here to talk to us about today?
So this morning I had another interview with Hasbro, the company that has the action figure license for Star Wars. It was specifically with the Star Wars team. And I've done this type of interview before with them. It's nothing. So no news comes out of it, unfortunately. It's basically just a Q&A about things that have already been announced. And basically I have to submit questions in advance that get approved. So it is very, very controlled, but it is, it's cool to get to interact with them and kind of learn a little bit more about the thought process that went into coming up with and designing a lot of the recently revealed Star Wars toys.
Any of that thought process you want to process with us?
Yeah, well, my first question was about the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary collection, because they've been talking about that for a little while, and we're now finally in the year 2023, which is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. And they talked about basically how they decided which characters to re-release for the 40th anniversary. And then, they do say in the interview, we're not allowed to reveal anything or announce anything, but there's a lot more coming, basically telling us in the media that we can expect plenty more announcements from the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi collection, which was kind of what I was fishing for without actually asking it. The other thing that I really wanted to ask about was the Disney Parks connection, because we have gotten some exclusive Star Wars action figures from Disney Parks and Shop Disney that were created by Hasbro. And I just wanted to know about that relationship and, how they go about deciding which characters from the parks get turned into action figures, because we have gotten the DJ Rex from Hasbro, but we don't have like a Vi Marati or a Doc Ondar yet. So I kind of made sure to mention those. Like, it came up a few times during this interview that they're always looking for suggestions from fans. So I kind of, when that question came around, I kind of intentionally name checked a couple of specific characters that I would like to see in action figure form. And I know a couple of the other, because it was a roundtable style interview with probably half a dozen other reporters there. I know other people were mentioning specific characters that they'd like to see. So hopefully, they said that the relationship with Disney Parks has been very fruitful, and they hope to continue that. And they said they've been planning up to like, I want to say they said they plan up to like 2 or 3 years in advance of what they're doing with the Disney Parks and Shop Disney and stuff. So hopefully we will see more of those 3-packs coming out from Hasbro in the Black Series. And I would love to get, like I said, like a Vi Marati or Doc Ondar in the Black Series.
For sure. I would love to see those as well. Even though I don't purchase them, I'd love to see you with them. What about tomorrow and Indy? What are you hoping to hear?
Yeah, so tomorrow morning there's a big Hasbro live stream that they actually plugged at the end of our interview, that they said it's going to be a lot of big news coming from Hasbro's Indiana Jones line, and I'm super excited. Now that we have the trailer and the title of the new film, I think we're going to get a look at some of the new figures from the new movie, because last time they did a Indiana Jones stream, it was entirely about Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is great. I pre-ordered all those figures coming from the Raiders collection, and there's also going to be, from each movie, they're going to be releasing figures. But now I think tomorrow we're going to get news from the new Indy movie, and we'll get to see what those characters look like in action figure form.
So Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford has been doing this for a long time. Do you prefer young black leather Harrison Ford, or do you prefer old white jumpsuit Harrison Ford?
White jumpsuit. Oh gosh, that's a tough question. I always point out that Harrison Ford was already in his like mid-30s when he made Star Wars. I think he was like 34 when he made Star Wars. He wasn't terribly young when he became super famous. He was already approaching middle age, I guess you would say. But yeah, he has been doing this for super, super long time, and I'm a fan of his. I think that his later period, he's phoned in a lot of performances, but that hasn't been as true lately. I feel like he's gotten better about putting the energy and feeling like he's present for his recent performances.
I know in addition to your Star Wars, you're also a pretty big fan of the MCU. Did you get to see the new Quantumania trailer yet?
Yeah, we watched it last night on our big screen TV. It's pretty exciting. I'm super psyched for that movie. Got MODOK's in the trailer. Yeah.
So that struck the right chord with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched. I've enjoyed the Ant-Man movies quite a bit. They, I know this one's going to be a little bit more serious, but I thought the Ant-Man movies were pleasant diversions, and very curious to see how this connects to the rest of the upcoming phases of the MCU. Just into those films and the cast. It's got a really good cast.
Cool. So again, tomorrow will be the Hasbro presentation. Do you know what time that is by any chance off the top of your head?
It's early.
Early. I'm sure Fanboy will let us know, but we are going to be broadcasting that on Laughing Place TV. So if you tune in to laughingplace.com/TV, you'll be able to watch that.
Is that allowed? We can just broadcast other people's YouTube broadcasts.
Not any people's, but certain people's.
Okay.
Yes. So that'd be at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then immediately after that, we are going to have Mike Celestino on our morning show, and we are going to be giving his analysis of that. Mike Celestino is going to be making his shopping list. We're going to be starting our GoFundMe to make sure Mike gets all the stuff he wants.
Yeah. Can I ask one quick question before I say goodbye?
Yeah.
So I've been taking care of podcast stuff this morning, but I missed out on the Tron thing. I know it's April 4th, but did we figure out how the numbers correspond to that? I'm sure you guys have talked about this already.
There has been some speculation, but there has been nothing definitive to say how from that you get April 4th.
Gotcha.
So speculation is out there. Scott, I don't have the tweet that we showed earlier of Scott Gustin, who he said you have to use the clue because the actual tweet text said CLU. Thank you, Kyle, very much. So I'll show you this. You can give your opinion as to whether this holds water.
Okay.
As well as anyone else. Let me just make it a little bit smaller so you can see it. All right, so CLU 04/04/2023.
Wow. Okay.
We don't know if this is accurate, if this is a backronym. We don't know, but that's perhaps
if that's right. That's kind of clever. I don't think anyone figured that out. But that's kind of cool.
What I do like about this is the date wasn't obvious, because it seems silly to me to put out this tweet. With the date clearly in it, but not actually make the announcement until the next day. But we were wrong. That date was not clearly in it on item number 2. It was something completely different, completely hidden. No way to know you were right. So once again, Disney is superior intellect. But if they do not give us the cipher to every one of these, let us know what they all mean soon, then Disney is the worst social media company in the world. So we'll see where it ends up.
We'll see.
Mike, what's coming up on Who's the Boss later this week, and when is it?
Friday. This week it's at 3:30 p.m. on Friday. We're going to be talking about both the Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 3 and the Willow finale, be it the season or series finale of Willow. We're not sure yet, but it should be a fun episode. I've got a guest that is a new guest to Who's the Boss, and she's a contributor to StarWars.com, which is always cool.
Nice.
So yeah, very excited for that conversation. Should be a fun one.
Cool. Well, looking forward to that. 3:30 p.m. Pacific, live on our YouTube channel on Laughing Place TV, and then it will be in your podcast feed after Mike gives me a nudge sometimes. And thanks very much, Mike, for joining us. We'll be talking to you again tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
That was Mike Celestino. Sorry. Kyle, please come back if you are able. Thank you. All right. Lastly, unless something else breaks today, we have our favorite travel agent from Mouse Fan Travel. Her name is Heather. Here she is. How you doing, Heather?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. We are doing fantastic. Get a lot of bookings this morning for early April.
Not yet, believe it or not. I think this afternoon, when everybody has their lunch break or they're home from work, that's when it's going to hit. I have mine already scheduled for late April, so I'm lucky. I'm going to get in there.
Okay, good. So we're happy to talk to you about the fact that Tron is launching and how exciting that is. But we originally planned to bring you on anyway today because of some other announcements that came this morning. It's been one heck of a Tuesday. And what is that announcement, Heather?
Just like Disney likes to drop it all at once. They don't trickle it out. It's bam. We've got about 10 pounds of news. Let's go.
It's weighing us down. So Adventures by Disney, River Cruise, what's going on there?
Yeah, they made their big announcement this morning, which I'm excited about. This is probably my favorite form of Disney vacation is Adventures by Disney. And they partner with a river cruise company out in Europe, and they announced their 2024 itineraries today. So, if you have been thinking about doing this, maybe this year is a little bit too soon. We can now, I guess starting on January 20th, we can start booking 2024, which I'm very excited about.
And you have done these cruises or done one of these yourself?
I've done so many of them. I love river cruises. I love them deeply. I've done, with ABD, I've done the Seine River Cruise. I just did that about a year and a half ago. I did the Christmas markets on the Danube with ABD, which was incredible. And then coming up this summer, I'm finally going to get to go on the Rhine. So I'm excited to check that out.
So I've done lots and lots of of big ship cruises. I've never done a river cruise. What is the big differences for those of us who haven't done it?
Everything. Everything. It is so different. I would say the main difference between an ocean cruise and a river cruise is that an ocean cruise is about the ship, right? The ship is the destination. You have all your dining and the water slides and all the activities. With a river cruise, it's about your destination. So the boat is really, really small, maybe 300 people, if that, on board.
Oh, wow.
And you get dropped off right in the middle of these tiny little villages and these gorgeous European cities. And you just step off the boat and there you are. There's no tenders, there's no transport needed. It's really just about immersing you in the destination.
I want a river cruise.
I had a question. So, what's new this year is they're going to be doing a after Christmas into New Year's cruise where while the Christmas markets are typically closed, they're going to be sort of transforming them into New Year markets. So since you did a Christmas markets cruise, can you talk a little bit about what that is like? Since I never had a chance to do it yet.
It's the most magical thing. It's like if you imagine Christmas in your mind, this is what a Christmas markets cruise is. So you, depending on the river that you're on, these European villages, how they celebrate Christmas is they fill their little town squares with kiosks, kind of like we see at Epcot for Food and Wine or Festival of the Holidays, but they're filled with treats and handmade ornaments and artwork. And that's where Europeans go to socialize. They purchase their Christmas gifts. They have a little bit of glue vine, and it's just, there's Christmas lights everywhere and ice skating. And it's kind of just super magical. And that was a big bucket list check for me when I got to do one. And I would love to go back. It's cold, but it's appropriate because it's during Christmas. And for me, I think that if you're going to do a Christmas markets cruise, Danube is the one to do because you're hitting Vienna. You'll end near Nuremberg, which is the biggest Christmas market in Germany. So when they announced this new one, which is the New Year's cruise, I think I'm booking myself on that. Like I just go on that. If anybody wants to come, we can all go. It just to celebrate New Year's in Europe would be incredible because they do Christmas over the top. So I know New Year's Eve has to be wonderful.
I want to see some of these Christmas markets. I have a friend in Europe who always posts pictures of the Christmas markets, and they just look so pretty. So, what better way to do it? Yeah, this would be great. Fanboy, was there anything else in this that we should touch on?
I guess just can you remind us when you can start booking these? I know they announced them today, but
you can start booking these on January 20th. So we have 10 days to kind of get in line what it is that you want to see and what you want to do. And I would say that if you're a family, river cruising kind of skews older crowds, not so old, but I like Adventures by Disney because they cater to families and they're more active than other river cruises. So in every port, every city, every village that you stop at, you're going to have 3 to 5 different options of things to do. So you can do as much or as little as you want. And they have activities, especially for kids. So, if they're going to go on, if you're doing the Seine, they'll take you on a scavenger hunt through the Louvre and things like that, or to get kids involved in the history and in the destination. So you're going to be very active. You're going to have a lot to do. This isn't just a stuffy sit down and eat a lot. You'll do a lot of that because the food's fantastic, but there's so much to do.
And I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but Alex was able to interview Janaine, who was a former adventure guide and is now a destination manager, and she did the river cruises. So can you talk a little bit about the adventure guide, who, and I actually worked with her back in the day when she worked at Magic Kingdom, but can you talk a little bit about the role the adventure guide plays on a river cruise, particularly? I mean, I think we kind of understand what they do when you're on land, where they, take you around and guide you, but what's the role that they play on a river cruise?
Yeah, they're a little different on a river cruise. There's more of them. First of all, there's 6 versus 2, which is nice because you get more of that Disney magic. They kind of act more like your cruise director on the river cruise. So the company that ABD partners with is AMA Waterways, and they use their ships. AMA also has a cruise director. So you're kind of getting 7 people to take care of you on this. The AMA Waterways cruise director handles the cruise staff, the kitchen, the housekeeping, and ABD adventure guides are there solely to craft your experience. They are going to take you out onto the different port adventures. They are going to be there to be designing the activities that you do on board, whether that's, musicians that are brought on board. They'll do cooking demonstrations with you. They also do junior adventurer nights, so mom and dad can have, you know, their grown-up time. They're really there solely for your entertainment and to immerse you in the culture in that Disney storytelling way.
Cool. All right. Coming back to America, any new specials? I know there is a Disney World resident special. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, they just announced that this morning too. Surprise. So, oh gosh, hold on. Let me pull it up. Do you have it in front of you? Yes. So it's up to 30% and it's just for late spring, early summer. So May, June, and July. So if you are a Florida resident, we can apply this for you as well. It's time to kind of just do that little staycation, get over to the resort. It's hot there. Go enjoy the pool and the air conditioning, and you get a nice discount. Of course, the deluxe and deluxe villa resorts are going to have that 30%, whereas the value resorts are more around the 10 to 15% discount at this time.
And they also have the Florida resident weekday ticket offer going now, which if you buy a 4-day ticket, you can actually go to the parks for less than $60 a day, which is still mind-blowing to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they also announced that I want to say 2-3 days ago for California as well. So Disneyland has that as well.
Okay.
So it's a midweek ticket though out in California, but that's when the crowds are less.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. It's when you want to go anyway when you're a local, is midweek. You don't want
Exactly. And I think actually, was it last night or this morning, somewhere in there, Aulani also announced a spring discount. So up to 25% off those rooms. So if you want to get to Hawaii, now's your chance.
It is a discount season. And so all these discounts, and so much to keep track of, whether it's a resident offer, should you go for the dining card or whatever. Is there an easy way for people to figure out which way is going to be most economical for them?
Well, Doobie, it's funny you should ask that. They should call their mouse fan travel agent. That's our job. We flip through all of the offers. We compare every single one right now. I know for Walt Disney World, depending on when you're going, there's up to 6 offers out there, depending on what payment you have and what ticket you have. So we go through all of them and we find the one that's going to work best for you and we get it applied. No charge whatsoever. We just want you to make sure you're getting the best deal.
No charge. That's like the best combination. Save us money without costing us money.
Right? It's a no-lose situation. All you do is win, so why not?
And get to deal with friendly people like Heather and then let them deal with all the headaches that invariably crop up as you're planning a vacation and having to
There
call
always
Disney
is.
and all
And
that.
especially when you're going somewhere new. Maybe, you're venturing out and you want to try Disneyland for the first time or Adventures by Disney for the first time. Where, we've tried it out. We can answer all of your questions.
And that is a big deal. You're not just selling it, you've done it. If someone wants to be one of these river cruises, you've done a ton of them and you can really give all the tricks that only come from experience.
Exactly. And then, and not only just being on the river cruise, what happens about the air, how are you going to navigate Charles de Gaulle Airport, or what happens when you arrive in Germany? What should you look out for? Where should you stay? Do you want to come in early? We've been there, we've done that, we've tested it. Me personally, I will talk to you all day about a river cruise. They're my favorite. So reach out and we're happy to help.
And this is why we love Mouse Fan Travel. This is why we love Heather, and she is my personal travel agent as well. So can't recommend them highly enough. Love having you joining us. I'm glad we're doing this regularly. I want to keep doing it. Thank you, Heather, so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye. Cool. Well, that was.
I'm not going on a river cruise.
I know. All of a sudden, I think we know where our next LP retreat is going to be.
I've said for a while, my dad does a bunch of cruises, not necessarily Disney cruises, but he always wants me to go with them, and I have hesitations about it. I'm like, we could do a river cruise in Europe. So yeah, the Seine or the Danube sounds lovely.
I did a river cruise on the Seine in high school, but it wasn't like, it was just one of those going there for a couple hours and go around.
And a scavenger hunt through the Louvre, that sounds like some Da Vinci Code stuff. Like, that sounds fantastic. I know it's for kids, it's not going to be that exciting, but still, I want to do that.
And I saw Glass Onion, so maybe we can do something with the Mona Lisa.
I did the Danube, and it was a lot of fun. It's interesting to you realize pretty quickly that the word cruise carries a connotation that you don't, it's not like you go on. The ship itself is nice. You have nice food, the room's nice, but it's not, there's limited resources on the ship because of its size, but you're just constantly somewhere new. I mean, you'll come back for lunch, and then you'll be after lunch you'll be in a different destination. And
I'm guessing it's not like when I go to the Bahamas, Atlantis, and decide to stay on Nassau and decide to stay on the ship. You get off
if you stay on the ship, you're making poor choices. And like it's funny, like they probably weren't supposed to do this, but like they'd go like you're just going through and they'll be like, "Oh, do you want to steer?" And like they just hand you the wheel on the bridge. I mean, obviously the guy's there, but it's not as like it's.
Now they just introduced the Pearl status for Disney Cruise Line. They haven't said what any of the perks are. Do you think steering the ship might be one of the perks?
No,
because this is Adventures by Disney.
It's just funny because it's so casual, right? Like you don't have the stiffness of like I mean, there's obviously safety is important, but when you're going miles an hour,
it's Europe.
Yeah,
there's no
safety. It's just
never drowned in a river before.
Well. And it's funny too, because like when you dock, sometimes there's like another ship, so you literally walk through another cruise, like another river cruise boat to get to your boat. Like you just walk through the lobby. It's interesting.
You go, wow, this is nice.
Yeah, well, I remember going by like I remember it was like gilded gold. It was like the Trump Tower of river cruises. Like, oh my gosh, thank God we didn't book this one.
They only serve McDonald's. So.
Hamburgers on the menu as you go through Germany.
We didn't have you on when we talked Tron. That's our huge story. We're going to just go through that again real quick before we close out today with this day in Disney history. Tron, April 4th. What do you?
April 2+2, busted new.
Give me something on the opening of Tron and this Epcot stuff and how excited you are for the year in Disney World.
I'm not.
Well, thanks for being here.
I think so. It's. I mean, I'm happy Tron's finally opening. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this was supposed to open 2 years ago, and I know this is a little weird, but like I've been on it in Shanghai, so it's not like it's a brand new experience for me. Replacing a failed fireworks show with a new one's great, and then you're replacing another failed nighttime show with something that hopefully won't fail. So I'm glad they're doing it, and I'm excited. I like that I think you hit it on the head with the Harmonious being replaced is a statement that they're willing to invest and cut their losses, so to speak. But, I would say, going even beyond this year, I'm excited to hear what the future is because we talk, we're going through it, and there's not a lot happening. There's not a lot of shovels being dug. Outside of Epcot, just trying to finish up Journey of Water in that little area. What are we looking forward to? And I think it's time to really talk about what's next. But I'm excited guests are going to experience Tron. I'm excited that they're doing fun marketing with it. And I'm excited that, that what's nice about Tron is programmatically, no pun intended, it makes no sense, right? You're literally building a coaster right next to a coaster. But they built it because it just seems like a lot of fun. And it's nice that sometimes it's not done to satisfy any other reason than just seems like a good idea.
4/4. Looks like February to me.
They've never given this marketing is just so creative. They're having so much fun.
It kind of throws me back. I hate to bring this up, but it kind of throws me back to the Duncan Wardle days. Like remember when they did the tower, where they'd have the tower hotel buttons that you would hit, and then or the special stickers on the apples. It sounds like I think we're kind of disappointed with this Galaxy's Edge marketing, where it's just sort of pretty straightforward. Like come experience Galaxy's Edge. It wasn't fun. It wasn't really in the storytelling of the moment.
They should have had an RU44 promotion.
But anyway,
give me 1 second. Please talk for just a moment.
RU44.
RU44. The upcoming viral marketing campaign that will count down to whatever. What I really want to know. I'll be much more excited when they announce the preview dates, because I won't need a boarding group and presumably. And that's when you really get to experience it is during those things. But we've been kind of waiting. It'd be honestly getting inside LP a little bit. It's our calendars and everything are we're waiting for this news to drop. So it's helpful when we know these things. But what I'm honestly really excited for is Josh's presentation at South by Southwest. Because he does such a great job when he does these like State of the Union things. You might come out of him and be like, oh, wow, there was nothing there. But at the same time, it just builds excitement for the future of Disney parks. And it shows that the guy who's in charge of them wants to dream big. And, we can discuss balance sheets on a more appropriate time. But, I think it's exciting that you have someone who's really trying to expand what the parks are trying to do. And because that's what Walt did, right? The parks are in essence an expansion of his movie dreams. So,
you mentioned, it kind of reminded me of the days of Duncan Wardle. I just got some fake breaking news, and they actually have a new Tron Annie Leibovitz portrait that has just come out. Right, this is me going through the trouble to go through one of those AI things and say, "Give me Tron in the style of Annie Leibovitz," and this is
wow. It's funny because I'm like, wow, that really looks like it. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is we were talking. What were we talking about? Dang it!
It's scary that's that easy. I'm not sure we're going to make it through this year.
I can't wait to hear what is coming next, and the fact that the marketing is finally getting someplace is exciting to what the future holds. But
we're excited. Okay, stay on. We're almost done, fanboy. This day in Disney history, 2016. Austin and Ally airs its final episode on the Disney Channel. What's your favorite Austin and Ally episode, fanboy?
The one where there's a dog on it.
I liked Austin and Ally. No. I do not like Austin and Ally. That's the one for Ross Lynch, right? Yeah, I get that confused with Liv and Maddie. It's such a doobie thing to do.
TIL. Oh my goodness.
You know what? Who I liked is the character Caleb Worthy, I believe, who's on Reboot. I thought he was like the actually talented one in that whole group. Like he just had a great comedic sense of timing. So I'm looking forward to that.
Also, this day in 2008, the Disney production of The Little Mermaid had its official opening night at the Fontaine Theater.
Grand opening, grand closing.
That was a bad show.
It was.
And then the touring version was even worse.
This date in 2003. Let me see. I'm gonna. This is another Disney Channel thing, so I have no doubt that fanboy knows what it is.
Friday, January 10th. Do you want me to do the voiceover?
2003. This Disney Channel original movie premiered. Do you recognize it?
No.
You
We've
wish.
got Beans and it's just this cast. Oh wow, cast of Even Stevens, and then she's from Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
Lelaine.
And it's called You Wish. I hadn't heard of it, but now we know. Found the trailer though. Everything's on the internet.
You Wish is so I was a sophomore in college, so it was in that dark period for me. But Alex is a huge fan.
Seriously,
he's a little older, younger than me.
I haven't seen a lot of these Disney Channel original movies, and the ones that I have seen, some of them I've seen like really late at night that they replay, but other ones I actually rented from Blockbuster and didn't actually watch on Disney Channel. My mom would just be going through Blockbuster. She's like, "Oh, this one looks fun," and it was like Luck of the Irish.
And then the most important of this days in Disney history, 1930. This man, the man without whom we would not have the vote memory, Roy E. Disney, was born.
It's hard to, I felt like he died young. I mean, because, he died of cancer and, kind of, I don't want to say suddenly, but, he didn't see that sort of decline. And then now you think like, oh, well, now you're getting to the point where it wouldn't have been young.
He would have been 93 today. This is an easy one, dude. Come on. He was born in 1930. 93 today. Here he is. We got to interview him at the premiere of The Lone Ranger.
No, this is the premiere of Pirates of the Caribbean 3, which is interesting because they actually conducted this while the second one was still playing.
Yes, Pirates 3. Sorry.
People don't understand the inside joke that's just been going on for.
If you want to enjoy this show so much better, go back and listen to every Laughing Place podcast. Almost. All right, well, that's it for this day in Disney history. It is Tron Tuesday on LPTV, so we're featuring Tron videos all day long in between our programming. We've got some interviews from Tron Legacy. We've got the trailer. We even got some Daft Punk in there.
Do you have Electronica? Do we have video of that?
I don't have video of Electronica, or I would. I'm going to go check one of our partners who was so kind enough to let us use his videos and see if he does. That's a good one.
Makes a question. Never mind. Any case, I do want to say, though, you came on today at 9 because the Tron news broke. You never know when we'll come back on to discuss more breaking news.
Never know. Also, World of Color Tron tag. See if you can find that.
That is good. That is a good one. Thank you. Remind me of that as soon as we leave here. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. At the very latest, we'll be back live at 4 p.m. Pacific time for Barely Necessities, the Disney merchandise show starring the two Beccas. And then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, we will have Disney Trivia Live starring Doobie and his son, Gideon.
And his wife.
And all day long. It's also Tuesday Vibes here. I go look up what are the Tuesday hashtags. So apparently Tuesday Vibes is one of them. Tron Tuesday I came up with. So just some fun videos
Tuesday for me
around the parks. That's a good one. I don't know what I would use. We've got Tuesday Tips. We're showing some of our 5-minute Disneys all day today, as well as still celebrating National Pizza Week.
What about Two for Tuesday, the old radio thing where you play 2 songs by the same artist?
That's a good one. I like that. All right. So stay tuned, Laughing Place TV. And I think that's it. We will see you next time. Hopefully some news will break so we don't even have to wait. We can just come on again later today.